So a funny thing happened, and by funny I mean incredibly annoying. So I went out and I filmed everything for the video today, and when I got back to my dorm, none of it was recorded because something happened to my SD card. So all of my footage was lost, and that sucks. So you do not get a cooler, better video today. You get an apology video. I'm sorry. I fixed my SD card. So next week I will definitely be putting up what I intended to today. But yeah, I'm so sorry. It's so irritating too. What's something interesting I can do today? I'll read you part of the novel I'm working on right now. The title of this work in progress is The Mental Instabilities of a Senior in High School. And I'm gonna read you a bit of it. I should probably tell you before I start reading that right now it's just like a bunch of sort of like journal entries. May 9th. A long time ago I used to have a diary. I never really used it, but now I have things to say and there's no one to listen. I found you, and I came back, and here's what's happened since. I grew. I grew a lot. I'm almost a senior now. That thought terrifies me. I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I'm scared to death because of that. I don't feel prepared for life out of school. That's the most distressing thought I've had yet. I probably won't write every day because I have a life. And with life comes responsibilities, such as school, homework, family time, projects, friends, and wallowing in self-pity while experiencing the end of the world, or so it feels when something with the potential to go extremely well ends up about as nice as, and let's use scientific talk here, schist. A perfect example of that would be today when I ran into Kendall Owens. Literally. I turned around in the hallway, right into him. Our legs got locked together and we tumbled over. It was awful, embarrassing, and I'm positive he hates me. I apologized so many times. It's hard to believe we used to be friends, but he grew up the popularity scale, and I grew down it. I am a root of the popularity tree, and he is a branch. It is interesting to think of popularity as a tree, because I think it fits so perfectly. The outcasts, the weirdos, the people like me, are the roots because we support the populars. Without us, they're just people. Like a tree without roots is simply leaves. But in the same way that the roots and leaves of a tree are immensely important, the geeks and the nerds are as important as the jerks and the jocks. And the only difference is, no one wants to see the roots. The trunk separates the leaves and the roots of a tree. The leaves never take notice of the roots, while the roots never have a care for the leaves. This is called the status quo, and it's very prominent in high school. Kendall and I are never supposed to interact, because he is a leaf, and I am a root. But I love him, and that hurts. May 10th. Let's get some stuff straight. First and foremost, I am not going to outright tell you what my name is. You may know all of my darkest secrets, and maybe my name will slip out in an entry, but I will not inform you how I was Christianed. I do this out of caution. There is no telling whether your body will slip out from between my worn and tattered copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and my pencil case, and land on the floor of my school without my knowing. And there is no telling who will then proceed to occupy themselves by picking it up and reading it through in study hall. Seeing as I declared my love for Kendall Owens on your first page, I'd rather not give a name or face to that quite embarrassing statement. However, I have no problem disclosing any of my other information with you, which includes complaining about my dorky brothers. Do you remember the twins, Clark and Charlie? They are so irritating. I asked them to put the couch back together because for some reason they felt that the cushions of the couch would be better placed on the top shelf of the bookcase, the top shelf that, coincidentally, I can't reach. They said they would get right on it, and I waited. For 2 hours. I found them out back playing lacrosse and confronted them. Clark ignored me and worked on some fancy lacrosse move. Charlie immediately apologized and came inside with me to get the cushions down. Mom said I'm not allowed to choose a favorite, but it's totally obvious, isn't it? Ever since he joined the lacrosse team, Clark has become cold. He used to be really sweet. It must have been some horrible cursed lacrosse stick or something. It's sad though, because Clark and Charlie used to be so close, but now that he's gone cold, there's a distance. It's microscopic, but it's there. But that's what high school does, isn't it? It changes people. I noticed when Julie and Justin went through it, and I've noticed changes in myself. Lifelong friends become sworn enemies. Cliques are formed, and derogatory titles are bestowed upon unsuspecting individuals. High school is war, and if you aren't wearing the camo, if you don't blend in, you're a walking target. I'll skip around a bit. Oh, here's something. October 15th. It's a sad day when you realize that your younger brothers have passed you on the popularity scale and are now on the same level as your crush. In fact, Clark and Charlie have become quite acquainted with Kendall. Usually someone can claim popularity from siblings. I would have no such luck, considering not many people know that we are related. I don't blame them. Allen is a rather common last name. What bothers me is when my brothers treat me like I'm not related to them. And by brothers, I mean Clark. Today I was walking with Clark to the car when he saw Kendall and some others. He told me to stop acting like you were related to me and put quite a distance between us. I rolled my eyes at him and said whatever, and walked to the car. I wasn't the only one annoyed with or abandoned by Clark. Charlie had been left, cold and alone, on the side of the road, or rather the hood of the car. I was surprised to learn this, but apparently there are different types of popular, and depending on certain factors, you may actually be the lowest of the low. Referencing back to the tree analogy I made oh so long ago, this revelation sort of makes sense. I mean, if there was only one kind of tree in the world, it wouldn't be much of a world, would it? Just as there are a variety of trees, there is a variety of populars, including jocks, rich kids, the beauties, and those with infectious personalities. Of those categories, there are subcategories, specifically in the jock category. There are football jocks rating high and mighty overall, lacrosse jocks following blindly in the football jocks' footsteps, basketball jocks, which is comprised of players of other sports, soccer jocks who are popular yet have hardly any status at all, and then there are the baseball jocks, who aren't really popular at all and only bask in the reflected glow of incompetence that radiates off the perfectly tan and clear skin of the football jocks when said jocks are being generous. Of course, there are all those other sports such as swimming, track, and cross country. They are neither popular nor inferior. They are simply there, like so many other people at Wesson High, among whom I do not belong, yet so deeply wish to. I don't want to be popular, but I don't want to be in the red zone, forever being labeled as inferior. I just want to be in that healthy yellow zone, which is cushioned safely on either side by the green populars and the red inferiors. One would think that playing starting forward on the soccer team would grant me a one-way pass to popularity, or in the least bump me up a few rungs out of the red. But I am in band and on the speech team, and those take the trick from soccer. And it's not the kind of trick you want. It's the kind of trick you get in the last play of a game of hearts, and you're stuck with the queen of spades. It's that sort of trick, the kind that ruins your life. And the only way to fix it is to start over, play again. But in high school, you can't start over. There are no redos. There are no takebacks. Once you're in, you're stuck. The only thing you can do is hang on and fix it in college. Just so you know, I realized most of this while Charlie was waxing on and on about the unfairness of high school. I think the thing he said that really got me going was, "It's only because he plays lacrosse. If soccer was even more of a contact sport, I'd be over there with him." In response to that, I couldn't help but think, if only it was that easy to become popular as a girl. You see, I have absolutely no idea how to achieve popularity as a female, because popularity is based on the most obscure things. the most obvious being beauty and money. But all I want is for Kindle to like me, the unpopular, hideous, nerdy me. I want Kindle to see that I'm the same me from 5th grade. No, I'm better than that. I'm better than my 5th grade me. Why can't he see that? So, yeah. How'd you like it? I will most definitely post what I was going to post today, next weekend. I would like to see some of your vlogs, Vivian and Katie, especially the one that I tagged you in. Yeah. See ya later.